Year 2030, nobody in a salon go skin forget water.
Well, this and plenty other more day for you. Now the program, you self with the listen can be part of the program through your text message to the AfriCell number 077 981 981. And members say you the listen we also from Radio Shalom 89.5 where they cover Kwenadugu and Falaba district and some parts at Onkolili, Radio Malen 88.5 and Radio 1J in Apujon district, Radio Colin 10 90.0 Nakambia and Radio Moa 105.5 na Kailan district. Plenty thank you to we sister radio station them for we relay this program Good Morning Salon. Well, as soon as you from the headline this morning, we get the Minister of Education, Dr. David Senge. They are for talk about different things them from school where they can open to exams that we picking they don't take and other things them where in ministry don't do. Good morning, Dr. Senge. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
All right, David, we shortly will come back to you.
The program Good Morning Salon continue, and now we start for a look at the first issue. Because of the plenty violence we don't happen in the country, this make government and civil society organization them don't they preach peace message them on how people for stop for promote hate speech and how it don't they among the country in peace and security. We make the executive director for campaign for good governance, Marcela Sambasi say now because state institution them not they do the right thing them way for preach peace now that makes citizens them they promote hate speech we don't they lead to violence in different parts of the country. Marcela Sambasi talk this in our interview with Radio Democracy, where able to talk about the hate speech, where campaign for good governance be launched. Also, I didn't get for talk about bad message them, where citizens them don't they preach, especially in a social media and other platform them. Well, he explained more to Kabia inside this interview.
Now, campaign for good governance, we promote citizens' voice and accountability. We they train people then for demand, from what we call demand side accountability, demand side governance. This stems from this thing we can call social contracts that citizens them they give them vote to political leaders them, and when the political leaders then sit down, they therefore give them the goods of the society.
Recently, we don't see plenty hate speech don't go around the country. We don't bring problem in the country. And organization don't stand tall for to say we're able for talk on this. So why we not decide for talk on this hate speech?
Well, because we promote voice and accountability. The voice and accountability what we promote now we call free speech, or what people can call freedom of speech, freedom of expression. But unfortunately, that freedom of expression they give people the right to share their opinion and views, critical or otherwise, and then perception on situation. But when that critical views and opinion they cross the line, you begin share vile, you begin share hate, you begin share threats. Then you begin make sure say you use speech for provoke violence. Then you don't cross free speech line. Then you don't move on to hate speech. Hate speech fraudulent. You they use them because you want to get something. You they use them for distract the society. You they use them for propel the society into violence. And we think say that one they no good for democracy at all.
So how you think say people they don't they use hate speech then at the country or don't see violence don't they happen?
Unfortunately, after the 2018 elections in this country, political leaders they don't do well for bridge the political gap. I think we don't raise this seriously. We don't raise them in several quarters. They therefore bring a situation where this political divide, the supporters they not go see them as lying. Unfortunately for we, it's a bad situation because the political leaders they're not effective. Where you see them and they bind, they meet now, then setting and they bind, but all time the supporters and the effects on social media, then they na Facebook lives, then they na audios, then they na videos, they all they na the situation and then they use hate speech and they spew violence. But unfortunately for we now, we're not able to forget a situation where the institutions of the state were able to promote sanity. So the police get problem, the courts they promote selective justice, and where all that thing here so they happen, it be a fertile ground for let hate speech thrive. Somebody just they create a situation and then in the final analysis, it push people in towards violence. And so this society we need for look at a number of things then we could able for address the governance situation with hate speech not would thrive now with society.
So it's not anything in this so.
One of the things then the institutions of the state then get for work. Unfortunately, we get for make a society we cohesive, we get for promote peace and national cohesion. I na the first thing. The second thing, courts dem get for make dem get for be impartial. Justice for be done. Justice not for be selective. What person do wrong na wrong he do. But if we get a situation where they make certain people their impunity, they reign at the society, certain people they feel say that they above the law. When they do bad, the law not they bet them. But other set of people then the law they bet them. That one did not the work. The police self get a role for play. Then self they work in that same light how the judiciary they work, where people they hurt the one. An hungry man is an angry man. Poverty then at the society. So anybody we want for fuel tension now, it get readily available people then. The other thing where they suffer from, this youth and unemployment. We don't get government there yet. We don't strategically make the youths they engaged enough. So then a readily available source of violence. So youth and employment itself now a very big challenge. Then the final one again, because we did try for push a number of things then quickly. Now this the role of the diaspora. I don't see say if we're not able for fair way for educate the diaspora properly on waiting at the role in democracy and good governance, we go on into problems. So supporters them of political parties them, whether they're in a ruling party or they're in opposition, and they come under the guise of Democrats, they only they oppose government or opposition as the case may be.
Well, that's the Executive Director on a Campaign for Good Governance, Marcela Samba Sise. But they talk to Yenokabia Insider interview the Osai because state institution them, not they do the right thing for preach peace message, now that make as a citizen them, they promote hate speech without a little violence at the country.
Well, 7:38 now the time for most studio clock. The program now Good Morning Salon and they come to you from 98.1 FM. Well, as soon as from we headline this morning, we get the Minister of Education where they can't tell you but thing them we don't the happen at the ministry. As if people don't follow the Ministry of Education, plenty thing don't they go on there from Adult Literacy Center we then just don't open and we go there all over the country. So the Zero Schoolgirl Pregnancy Campaign where the ministry don't begin. Students them don't take the NPSC and WAS exam and Becker go start next week. And also school they can open just no. Plenty thing like I don't say Dr. Senge. But now we start with the exams we just done. WAS done, NPSC done and Becker go there few days from today. The students them we sit on house for about 3 months. We say they don't prepare, but then we get the corona sick. We say school be start first, but then you come on board and say then for take exams, and they be get 1 month school class for revision, and finally take the exams. How the exams then go from the NPSC to the WAS exam?
Thank you very much. First of all, in the interest of full communication with the people, we plan for release the NPSC next week. And again, in the interest, for them release actually this week because then I've been plan. I've been yeah, this is not excellent. We know they play, but I think in terms of we've been the plan this week, the 7th. Now in the plan for release, but and this I want to use this opportunity for invite the school them. We now still send continuous assessment. Some picking and they. Maybe 1,500 within school and not sending continuous assessment yet, and we now want for make me then they go against them. So we now make we extend that to them for me then send that continuous assessment. They don't reach them school and they would hope for me then send a continuous assessment. But by next week, hopefully then we don't send them and then WAEC down for mark the objective then and the essay then would they include contacts then. So for NPSC it go extremely well and we'll be in the plan for release the results in a month.
So Dr. I just can ask you, so if they're not the schools are not set a continuous assessment, it will affect the results?
It will affect the picking them when are they in picking them results. Okay. But we work with them school leader then they and for make sure say it's just not fair for any picking for make me they not get a continuous assessment. But in the center, right? In the center. So NPSC happening well and then we gladdy and we because the thing is we want for give the picking enough time 1 month for make them plan, make them do always in it before they count from 1 in October. Um, and then was just done, and me and so we signed this communique with all man. Me and the anti-corruption commissioner, they talk regularly about this, and then we compile reports on the communique for all the different people. The IG, they call me, where you go, you see something that happened, they call me direct. So all man, we've been signing the communique, engaged fully. The where the exam starts for us, but who hala been there, but leakage then we know the leak and here and there, and we see say generally most of them have been fake paper then. Secondly, if it leaks have not yet been they come out, and then maybe mathematics, and then they reviewed and they in terms of anomalous behavior, but on the general wider scale, we've been getting them all over Salone. Systematic, organized malpractice very reduced compared to like last year. The protests serve then go broke store then last year. Then send audio then to President Bill say they want for five for that they made them not do free quality school education. But this year we glad at the number then where they happen. And then for Beke, we are very positive because the lesson they will learn from us with the plan for use that lesson and they for Beke. So for the Beke people them, if you and note for this one, so we arrest principal we being involved in malpractice, we know the joke. So if you're not Beke fumble or Beke picking or Beke teacher, if you engage in malpractice and a future now you know once because we know the play.
So looking at the NPSC result, where you say will soon come out, where you look at now, not even a normal term, and even previously, when I be normal term, for late results come out, you always get you always extend the time and all. In your own area where you say now already the plan for release the NPSC results, one would wonder like who's kind of major in this particular term where you and other body them put in place for get short a swift action for let the results and come out.
Proper planning, proper collaboration. Me position with WAEC is WAEC not an enemy. The teacher then we did it, and with the people know the mark, and I believe in justice. If you the mark, we for pay you, but we could always pay. That people think it's the government that sweet because governments they always pay you, right? So I think that just for engage people there on the humanity and let them know say this that we all depend the sacrifice here now for picking them. So really engagements with the people them with WAEC, with the we get clear deadlines and make sure say this they happen. If delay they, for example, the reason we make if I been know earlier, say then school and then I been not sending car seats, now me self for go meet the principal then for tell and say no, that's unacceptable. But with director of inspectorate and with CEO, with chief education officer, they pan tap this now and we try to get as many as we can before. So it really not just planning and good communication and for engage with the stakeholder there.
All right. So now the news that for the NPSC students them by next week when our results them
Hopefully mid next week.
Okay. So let me come to Adult Literacy Center. A few days ago, the world celebrates World Literacy Day, and this day very important to country them particularly in education it promotes. And inside the Ministry of Education go and launch the Adult Literacy Center. First of all, why Adult Literacy Center?
Adult Literacy Center because we National Development Plan in name Education for Development. That means say the number of people then we want for make them be educated, we they need for be literate, need for the upwards of 70%. Today they between 40 to 51, 57%, depending on who that counts. But let's say 50% of the people then literate. We still get another 20% for literacy. We National Development Plan really focus on human capital development, particularly the first cluster. They talk about literacy from 3 or so different angles. One are basic education. With FQSC, with free quality school education, we in our flagship program, we add 1 year pre-primary so that Pekin will get enough foundational skills for make them focus on primary. One objective now that by class 6, we Pekin them for be functionally literate and numerate. That means say them boku Pekin then they will be in the go class 6 and not sabi read. Boku. And so one for increase that number there. The second literacy component is that one make young people then be literate. So that means by the time we did done GSS3, basic education, they for be literate as well. FQSE add SSS as well. So we add preschool, and now we get 13 years of guaranteed access of school. These are the first 10. Before, 9 years by law, now 13 years. But the people them, you get two sets of people and we know the benefit from FKSE. First of all, with FKSE we get 30% of the population they benefit directly, 2.6 million picking there. Last year alone we add 1/10. We add 1 out of 10 people then go school and the system not broke. But for the adult education part, you get picking them we don't come out school, right? As we still get somewhere about, depending on the waiting a number, if we say 50% of the population they under 18, and then we say 30% of them they now in a school, and then you remove 0 to 5 years, you still get somewhere around 10% out of school. And so we want for increase out of school. But if person with the out of school, you want for go to school, it need for go through a learning center, non-formal education. And then we get beaucoup big people there. Actually, per MPSC, we've been see that video and audio with that man, some 60 years old man, and that woman, they take MPSC. Then the reason we make them want for land book now for me to be read, when to be right, when they get privacy, so that person not go to read the text message for them. If they want to send mobile money, if you begin the free time, it send you mobile money, they go leave one kalu person and they can't tell you what you picking send, just go pull out your hand. So literacy and civic engagement and democracy we'll care about. So adult education important for where we society able for go before. So they invite all the big one then, all the people then we not sabi read and write. But then go and then adult literacy center then free. And also now being education at President Bill a most important element. So the adult education now being a manifesto promise say we deliver adult education learning center now every chiefdom in this country, and the work what they do now for do always to say what they do.
With over 200, the adult literacy center, in terms of providing it now one, but how well on that thing say the people who for benefit from this go utilize it well?
Well, that's an excellent question. And then I make I say with a big all man for me them put this book learning business here. The reason now for your privacy, so that people then go you savvy save who don't end up by the save. Now for you security, so that people then not go know now for you democratic participation, now for you civic. So now for the people then themselves. But in terms of what they do today, I just see we director Miss Olive Musa just send message, but the request for training for 2 per center, people then wouldn't train. So for Make Medicine Center, I work fine. We engage and contact the principal them. Would identify 2 trainers per center, 2 adult literacy people then would they train per center. And then would the chief education officer they already modify and update the curriculum. Would they update the curriculum? Because the way they learn big portions is the same way they learn small picking. And even though 1, 2, 3 from 1980s are the same 1, 2, 3 today, but the methodology for deliver the 1, 2, 3 different.
Most of them people in the way you talk about adults, some man get reason or the reason make the left, not so some children can like for a call back. And some mind in mind can totally can look and say for go begin sit down, they teach me don't have benefit to insafe. In terms of on your own method for letting people will get reason for continue for go for benefit from the adult literacy class, you think say now one we really then go relate to them?
Yeah, so 2 ways. In the way you talk about the participation, the engagement of people, we actually get, for example, our lunch and so now the chief Bapi Nango lunch and so the chief, the parliamentarian there, the man and the woman there, they're all supported. So if they support this, then the people then go put their hand on that fine. In terms of the tuition, the teaching style is very interactive, very playful. We know not to the same way we begin they get homework, a big one and they get homework. And so you point the psychology and the emotional, the psychosocial component. And that training the way the people then they do involve psychosocial, they involve the emotional, they involve the cognitive, they involve all of them methodology. Then they with the hope say as many people then go gladly for participating in the class.
All right, continue for David Twin at the program. Dr. David Senge. We will come back and continue with other team them developments away you ministry don't begin. The program now Good Morning Saloon and the time for most studio clock now 7:52. We go to other issue. Usai the German government been give Salon 20 million euro to the Salon government as way for develop different districts. We go give work to young people na the country. Well, for sake of that, the project, consolidated project, and Naxa Salifo Mansari, don't call on government for put law them. We go tap people where they use timber truck, not for use the road rainy season term.
This day about for come approved projects where the council and see the one they would do at the districts. And we work at the 4 districts. So normally we don't say what the one that would do so projects for them. Particularly the field areas that they do, we can invite them for come approve them before sending to the donor for funding.
All right. So let's look at the project to be specific. With now like some of the projects or the team where basically this project the target.
This project, we're talking about 20 million euro project with the German government gives Salon government. 80% of that money they do towards feeder roads, bridges and culverts. In addition, they also do grain stores for reduced post-harvest loss. So predominantly, the major part of the cash they go towards feeder roads, rehabilitation and construction. Now then 4 districts here.
All right. The 4 districts that we mentioned, possibly go the listing go one know who's one of them district they are one of the target.
Kailaung selected chiefdoms. For Kailaung now we did Penguia, we did Yahweh, we did Pejabungri. And for Kono we did Gorama Kono, we did Bane, we did Gorama Kono and Bane chiefdom. Then Konadugu we did Tamso chiefdom and Kilian.
So now almost your project is.
Well, this is a 4-year project. It's not the second year of the pass. This is the second TRC, we call Technical Review Committee meeting. It starts 2019 for 2023.
Right. During the meeting, I mentioned about consolidation of peace. What do I mean towards that?
This program started in 2006 after the war, and the German government see one of the things that caused the problem in this country, the war on youths, unemployed youths. So they said they can't help the country for build broken infrastructure, but they make it labor intensive. So when they build road and they build any kind of infrastructure and they employ youths for work, so they get money in their pocket.
So Falaba district now one of the new districts them we don't get. Una get any plan for include them into them projects there?
Yeah, Falaba inside. Falaba inside. As I talk to right now, we started last year and we continue. This is the second phase of the project we do for Falaba and all the other districts I don't mention.
What do you expect from people within the district here?
Well, as you go through this thing, we get a challenge. Mark talk about the challenge first. Now the timber trucks the way they above the roads. Then a big challenge for we would expect the government. Central government for put laws the way go make the timber trucks the regulate the activity of the country, because you find out even against if timber trucks are going to then they pull more, and then so we want the government take we expect government for come up very strongly for regulate the timber industry in this country.
Well, that's now Usman Kamara. They talk to Salifo Mansari from Naxa. The program now Good Morning Salon, and it come to you from 98.1 FM. We come over to we studio guest back, Dr. Senge from the Ministry of Education. They are this morning for talk about thing them way don't be. Now the ministry for push education go before. Now let me look at the zero school girl pregnancy where you don't launch for CCA, picking them at least minimize the one the way they get belly while they go school. But let me start first again to the one them way bigger belly way take exams. I mean, some of we be there against the policy day after we una lift term under the radical inclusion, say we picking a belly if we wait until he born, then he could continue school. But then cabinet's been grief for make the ban lift up after we inside Ebola term the ban been there. And now we see say plenty picking them with belly actually go take the exams. As a father, how you feel for CCA and also the education minister for picking them with belly actually go take exams?
I'm glad. I feel joy. I feel pride. I feel like they get another chance at life. I feel like nobody ought to punish them 2 times. I feel like the government and the citizens of this country, finally they embrace we reality for protect we picking them, advocate for picking them, and not blame them and not punish them. So are they in a very happy state where they interact with them, picking them, we get another chance at continuing their education. One of the things then we I don't do, so I don't travel boku. I don't travel boku over the last couple of weeks, particularly since this COVID lockdown ease. And any side where I go, they ask almost always the same question. They ask my mother, "Oh, una you get any picking and we get better when they go to school now?" They ask each other, "How many picking and they we get better when they go to school?" All man have been team in terms of data. We always been done recently. They get gender disaggregated data. Now, in addition to gender disaggregated data, even with school open, so we know everybody will go to school and everybody will not go. And for the one that will not go, we mark if they not go because of dengue belly or not. It's that level of richness of data now one, so that we will know. So that person not go say, "Oh, that's so happy, oh, that's so happy," because I want to use data for analyze what's in the happen. So there's no community leader where I don't go to, right? I don't travel east, west, north, and south. There's no community leader that will say, "Minister, this is not bad thing. What you do for me picking them for don't go school." I know me tired. The picking them where they talk to, we then company, they almost not even they notice. See then company them in the sense that they negatively affect them. Instead, the other day in the half for the picking them in they say, then they feel bad because then they bully the picking them. So the picking them it's different. And then, people then can look for say, "Oh, now the society people then in all these speeches then where on the arena in Tamale, in Moyamba, in wherever, the society people then they make at the glad even with more hope because of the joy with they say they want for them picking the land book and because of the and so it's that all the myth then where people then remember it hasn't happened. So I'm really glad that we as a government decide say we forget a fully inclusive, radically inclusive education. We mean say it no matter how you turn, it no matter if your foot broke, it no matter if you're a poor woman, it no matter if you get belay, it no matter if you get sick, all man for benefit from school.
Okay, continue for the between at the studio. A name na Dr. David Moina Senge, the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. A day for talk about different development plan they would only happen at the ministry, and also get for talk about the preparation where they don't put in place as Beke exam go start soon, and also school and back go open. Continue for the between at the program. The program Good Morning Salon they continue, and inside the program now we go for a break.
Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app, you can able for use Salon Link money transfer for send money to anybody like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office like you not get the account number. Buy Ed-Salite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again, but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for the boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salon Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue, and we will bring this edition come to you this Thursday morning. My name is Sapti Kalon.
And my name is Asma James.
We continue with the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, David Senge. We don't talk about different development plan them. We don't happen. Mr. Minister, before we go for the break, we talk about education. Way for make picking them all be part of education benefit from in line with that picking will be get belay we see you find a way for make them go take an exam. Is it that you do this for make a mark or forget the expected result way now for let them pick take the exam and then them pass?
We do this because it's about justice and human rights. We do this because we not go say we believe in universal quality education for all. Then we say, "Oh, but you were the pass here that you that poor picking when I rape then go rape poor. You know advantage go take from you not mix."
But most of them pick be don't sit down for long with them pregnancy. I mean, most of them mind we don't come up at education business.
No,
Like
they
what
were
you
going
be
to
put
school.
in
They were
place
going to
so
school.
we go relate or go make the enroll or catch up back quickly.
Okay. So two things. Let's say for the one, then we reverse the ban in March, and then school lock. So many of them come back school actually during the last 5 weeks, which is wonderful because in the past they would not have come back to school. But then we for don't expect them for when they go do well, right? It was like society being the just again, society being hypocrite. Small number. We been one for make me we say, oh yes, one for me when I do well, they make gonna take exam, but we know they put una at school, they remove una, and then we una don't just know we know they welcome una in any way, right? So there's anyway. So we invite them for camp during the school closures, so the school reopening for partial exams, and many of them show up. Almost all of them show up. And then benefit from the tuition and the learning, and then take exams now. But with school open so, and I'm glad that we work with several foundations, one of which is Girls Plus, we would go engage the Pekin and the community for say, would they beg you, government, one for maybe speaking here continue for land book. We know one for know what's happening or how it happened in the sense that we're not use them for punish you from school. But the rest of the ecosystem, the civil society, the NGO there, the Ministry of Gender, the Ministry of Social, we're all man wants for focus on protection, social protection of the child. It's supposed to be child-centered and child-focused. Now for the Pekin they do one. If that Pekin day, we all pull hand panna. Usually we say, and actually we'll talk to some of the Pekin and say, so why make a couple of them not go back to school? So why make you feel so like party not go to school? Well, the people then drive back, right? If we deconstruct how that Pekin they get belly, more say 14 year or 15, if we deconstruct how you get belly, in people then play a role or lack of role, society play a role or lack of it, we not protect the Peking. Then after we the Peking get belly, then in people then drive and come on now, say go outside they go, probably outside they go face more physical violence, outside they get the emotional support, outside they get the nutritional and health support. Then we send a drive and come on a house, then we also drive and come on at school. And then we expect say that Peking they go turn woman tomorrow we go there in society way better.
So in line with society perception, for lady picking in go school now one, but society gets role for play because let pick get belle no common school, let me give provoke na in community. In line with that, as you said, we don't say a progress every day in line with society behavior, how people in react. Like how you what measure you put or things the way you think so you do we go make society way of behaving or reacting to picking the way can get belly not go affect you effort we don't put in place as a minister for ensure say all picking benefit from education no matter what.
Thank you, excellent question. One of the things that we'll do now we call the Zero Schoolgirl Pregnancy Campaign. So from before even we lock school, I've been Younger Bonds and my team Amara Suwa and the entire Free Quality School Education. We don't go different districts and we don't go launch and we don't do one Moyamba actually last week. We don't do one all time. And the components they now for talk to the people them, the parents them, the chief them make a commitment, the chief them know what thing governments don't say, than I want, because people they don't know. And then, usually that me last can talk and then thing then they you can read some man go don't cancel, we don't talk. But now them picking themselves now then they go big, like then they blame the picking there. And to be honest, I think say not just that we not get the language for understand. We know the approaches from empathy. So usually I've been the vex trade, but these days, need nothing for vex anymore. We all need for work together and we all need for think together and understand the true reason. And I think my own position, now that the picking and a victim. And if you agree say somebody in a victim, if you think say somebody then they take advantage of her, then your language could change. You know go talk about punishments. Nobody know they punish victim. Nobody know they go drab victim come on us for come on do. If somebody in a victim, go beat him back, right? And that's my own primary position is that picking one because you get the law say, and these people then can say, like picking open your foot so you for run away. You know they go pikin know they say do ya I want do this. Pikin know they talk that pikin know they give consent, informed consent no dey. So if you believe say one elect pikin say abeg do ya can't take me, you say no I don't want government trouble, no I want to protect you. Then they will not they go to that side where they get belly because pikin know they sleep in that net grab you get belly. That's something people they do want to make get belly. So now people then they do something. Then I one. And then the next part, if you assume then say the initial act being wrong, if you believe, not assume, now it's just a fact, the initial act being wrong, then that beginning a victim. If not a victim, we all the hold hand and put hand on there and from big make go before.
All right, Doc. So we look at some of the data them we come out now the districts them again are interested in them because we watch for bond being get over 63 picking them we go take these exams. 23 of them one ended and are really picking them when I NPSC really young picking them. And now for the WAS also you see say Koinadugu the lead in the one that we take the WAS
Badly though, not a good
yeah,
lead.
and it's over 156 picking them we take the exams. Now results go come out. How hopeful you they say then pick here not just go take the exams but that they will make them and continue willingly back for can school and continue the education.
I think in the same way. So first of all, in terms of what people thinking, so let's talk about pass rate. The pass rates over the last 5 years in Nasara alone terrible. Between 1 to 6% people are in the pass WASO. So there's a general, and now they try for increase in parts of Wusai where they see the improvements at the school. But good school and they will all man being the good at school, they all man they fail. Like they know it's just anyway. We don't accept this, and we say no, unacceptable, and we don't see them worse school and don't they get tries. So hopefully last year maybe one person passed. This year hopefully many more go pass. So I think so generally to your question, I hopeful and I think I've been on talk down then I say me I feel so the beginning go do better this year than they do last year. We will say but how come with COVID? I guess we could force results to come on next week or we'll do. I'm still very hopeful. Particularly MPSC and Becky. I think so then they do better this year, by the way. In terms of WAS and the Pikine Wigebele, the Pikine where they talk to, they feel very excited. The one then where I talked to just last week, the one for Tondos, the one for Gujala. I mean, nothing happened. We make Igebele. That not mean say in hid no day. That not mean say if fool. That not mean say in future done. I not especially think say they go do worse off than the general average. I don't believe that they.
Right.
And you get three then some of unbelievable, right? And it's just the system change. Who gets three then we picking them born picking. Actually, the exam in labor begin. You go born picking after exam, you can't continue tomorrow. And if somebody is strong like that, there's no reason for more we killing hope and more killing future.
But why somebody no go just wait a born and encourage them for come back in a school?
Because it takes another entire year. Because we know, say, if people then drop out, then likely not they come back again at school. And actually, this is a great question. In pre-primary and primary, we get more girl picking in at school past boy picking there. In JSS, we still get slightly more gender parity today, so equal with JSS boy picking and girl picking. For us, we get more boy picking than past girl picking there. By the time you go university, order of magnitude difference, all man and man day, or almost. And when you come out today now, you come into the workplace. That's also man day you see that the workplace. So the importance that we not make men drop out. The importance that we not say okay because they know they can again. And I make a glad that you help we and I want for invite now all for help we for make men come back. May all gap we school open October 5th. May the school full up pass even full up back.
All right, Dr. Senge, continue for the retweet. Now the program 11 minutes after. Okay, somebody be don't tell me say me clock wrong. Oh yeah, 11 minutes after 8 o'clock we they go to other issues. The Minister of Finance, Jacob Justus Safa, say inside the next 4 months, governments don't budget for spend over 300 billion leons per road construction. Jacob Jusu Safa talk this inside one meeting where the Ministry of Finance be all for sign road construction company them then sign contracts for do different road them na the country. Well, for more on this, let we join Musa Kamara.
According to the Minister of Finance, Jacob Jusu Safa, then road contractor, they part of government in agenda and provision they for them na the 2020 original and supplementary budget and some pandem na existing contracts them we not active because of money challenge. But say government the target for done road project here by June 2021. But two sides some pandem road here the Jacob Jusu Safa.
We do critical roads at the eastern of Freetown. The Furniture Junction Grafting, for example, you know that area. No, so Mabore Junction, Furniture Junction, Mayekini Road. We are also doing Fobe College internal network. And one of the reasons why Fobe College is terrible and is overused is because the Leicester Road is not done. Leicester Road is going to be done here. So I'm doing Fobe College Road from Berry Street up to Leicester, where it joins. Then we're also doing Leicester Road, so that people living in Gloucester or Leicester don't need to go through Fobe College. Fobe College university environment, you have to keep it very nice. We're doing critical roads in the Waterloo community. 5, 6 of them are going to be done. Calmont Road, Lord Street, Fair Street, Fullerton Road, Basata, Parsonage Street, and the like. Very critical road again we are doing is the Funkia Godwich Road. Another road we are going to do is a road that has been abandoned for years, has been unfortunately the Banajuma Pujan Road. We have the Bo Matu Baya Junction corridor. So the Bo Matu Road overall is on course. Effective work using government funds is going to start. It's fully on course. You can report that. In addition to that, work started in Matu Township and we need to complete it. Then we shall be doing later on additional city roads in Bo, Kenema, Kailan. And then we shall be doing also roads in Poloko and other places. Kolagidi, Long area and the like.
Gravel road them na the provincial area them according to Jacob Jusu Safa, they part of government immediate plan for improve the road network na Saloon.
You have gravel road taken from Alkalia to Masimbi. You have another one taken from Masimbi to Gedema to Pojebu to Blama, go that direction. So that's going to be open. You have road from Mongo to Wodu to Sando Chiblom. You have road from Kono Kweduta to Kamiando, to Fiama, to Le, and up to that point. You have road taking from Kwedu to Wodu to Gandon to Kwedigeya to Bunubu. You have all those roads. We are going to Tundula. Yeah. You have roads taking also the Kwendu flank, road the Zimi flank. So all those about 40 gravel roads are going to be open. You have roads taken from Rubo Junction to Mabroka. You leave Makeni, you want to come to Bo, you have to come to Mashaka, because the Makeni-Yile road is not accessible. We're going to fix that one immediately.
For Bill 6 bridge them for replace local ferry them na place like Sanda Magbolonto, Tompare Ferry, Kaba Ferry, all na the Karina districts. They part of government plan for road construction inside the year 2020. We all this according to the Minister of Finance. Government budget on road construction for the next 4 months, they over 300 billion leones.
But the total investment of government for the next 4 months on roads is estimated at 349.4 billion euros. That's constituted the first quarter. And that's going to include about 100 billion for sport improvement. But that's not the end of the road. Additional money is going to be made available for next year because payment will be made again. We have programmed the payment by quarter. But first installment, 25%, plus the gravel road, will go up to 349 billion.
The Minister of Works and Public Assets, Peter Bayuku Conte, being focused on the area of quality for Seka road construction, na Saloon, and call the contractor them for work in this regard.
I want to congratulate the contractors that have won the bid to do the various works. I want to remind them, though, that our government is focused on building better roads based on quality, on value for money, and on timely implementation. So these 3 principles should guide your work going forward. And I want to be very sincere with you by telling you that we will be monitoring these works.
I talked to some pandi contractor them. Wait, tell me what in the makeup of the contracts them.
My name is Abiodun Yebola, Managing Director of First Strike Unlimited. Bandajuma project on Jala University and Matu Township Road. Yeah, we thank God. It's a good demonstration of government's sincerity and willingness to get things done. And the owners of doing the getting the jobs done, it now lies on the contractors too. So once government can fulfill their side of the bargain, I think we also have a commitment to deliver the job as expected.
Mina Papa Chendeka, the CEO for SICAN. We signed the contract for the JS Momo to Sharif Drive, the Guana road. Those are the roads that we'll sign contract for.
What do you make?
Oh, it's okay. I mean, it gives employment to the people, the workforce. They are employed, so which is okay.
The Director General for the Saloon Roads Authority, Engineer Amara Kane, say this is the implementing stage of government promise them for Seka Road project, and self-promise say then they work with the body them we responsible for CC, contractor them make quality road them for the Society for Radio Democracy, Musa Kamara.
Because money easy for loss, like how it easy for broke egg. You save not for left your couple business to people they will not sabi, and one day we get ben. Union Trust Bank get all the correct and master sabi people them for help make you couple better. We na Union Trust Bank team up Tiranga, so your money go fine with no wahala, and you no go get we kind service no other side. Make good use of we SMS alert where they show you your money transaction. Enjoy we internet banking services for check your accounts. Safe, you can visit our website on www.utb.sl for no more, but we order plenty products and service them. Now Union Trust Bank, excellence now it's on card. Union Trust Bank, the force and true Salomon Bank.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue, and now inside the program we come over to the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, David Senge. We so far don't tell about different development program and activity them we don't the happen at the sector. Mr. Minister, before we go for a break, we will talk about picking them for do well at the previous exam we already don't take. That NPSC and WAS. But again, look about the preparedness we put in place that particular term day. How rational you preparedness be there in terms of the picking them, considering the fact that most of them don't sit down for a long time and all?
So the reason we make our belief say that they do well now because of the work we do, and because of my confidence in the system. So what we do before school lock, we communicate to people and make them complete their continuous assessments, what they use now, by the way, for the exam then, because we know so we'll ever use the continuous assessment, so we invite them for done the continuous assessment, make them get enough. And then school lock, we start the education radio program before school lock, and the education radio program for the first time include things then like music and meditation, sexual health, reproduction, life skills, plus all the core subjects then from pre-K, preschool, TIG, WAS, and we focus on the core subjects. And we was done so we want start for the last month. I tell me team and then focus specifically on Beke learning materials as well. That I want just on the radio, and as many people know, they reach the radio. And then we bring physical materials, materials, teaching and learning materials to Pekin and to the most disadvantaged districts and the worst performing schools. We engage in training. Look, we do all things and then they for support the Pekin and we feed them, right? So a lot of Pekin and they not school and they get chopped for it, and the importance of that. So we feed all MPSC Pekin in this country, all time, including Freetown. No MPSC Pekin we not get rest so in this country, yeah. Things like that where they provide food and nutrition, which is important for learning, provide learning materials, provide content. Now I feel very excited.
But we see what audio we come always from picking I mean really not be glad they say the exam be too rigid and other measures them not be flexible.
Yeah, the exam. Somebody always go get for say the exam hats, all that. We were strict. We now entertain as much as we could. We've been a monitor. So, and then the importance, the integrity in the system. And if the exam has next time we'll study fine, we'll help them you see, by the way, the other parts too. It's not to the picking in fault if they all fail. So now I make this school then who side then they get 0%. So not the beginning they full. Not say the beginning who they that na put on districts and full who they all they fail.
So not the fault of who that?
The teacher then, the head teacher then, the DD then, we as ministry, I take full responsibility. And that's why now I make the people then put in these governments, right? For change education. Now I make President Bill say free quality education. And that they will defect for every day so that then we'll not go punish we picking them. Because then a punishment will be the punish we picking them. Generations lost.
So in all of this, the teachers they're very, very important to make you achieve your work. So it's not the relationship between the ministry and the teachers them. What's not their own package?
Excellent. The teacher there and we were on the same page. I have a great relationship with the teachers. My team does. The Teaching Service Commission. I want to commend the Teaching Service Commission. You know, change difficult. Yeah. Change had to. Before Friday, people then just they come on left and right, come on all side and bring lists. Oh yeah, do you have to add this person in the list? Have to add this person in the list? TSC said no, not just how they do this. Then the one they reassess teacher, then thousands and they reassess them for 11 years. And then that problem where would they try for fix? And then they will deal with now. In terms of teacher training, continuous professional development, nothing there. We don't come with policy then. The teacher themselves gladly. If you talk to the head of SLTU, the Conference of Principals, the National Association of Head Teachers, understandably, you get some people that were disgruntled, understandably, and then views importance. Those on the edge, then views importance, and they try to address them the issue there. But it's about justice. We need to be just and fair to the teacher there, and to the invigilator there, and to all man. And I always don't talk. Me and a family of teachers are commot, and teachers are the most important assets to a country.
Then conditions of service now, and then we then really concerned about salaries. We see all these pamphlets, we see these lessons and all. So which you don't do for them for make sure say you then pay them teacher them a bit.
President Bio say they increase their salary then. April this year, 30% increase. We other country they not pay people there. We Corona, the night we increase their salary by 30% within that was President Bio took President Bio say it make Teaching Service Commission independent and it supports them. We do that. We don't do that on restraint, and we do various trainings. In terms of conditions of service and comparison, Baku people then they look. You can say the teacher then, and we believe that the teacher then are the most important. Right, but you know how many people then the teacher then make about a third of the government payroll, civil servants, about a third. We get 80,000 teachers, 30-something thousand on payroll, and about 60,000 in the public sector. The other one there. Then they boku money than the government they pay every month. Now we will increase their salary so by 30% too. Now the faithful do the other thing there. So not to say government's not value and not respect them. Government now make we increase their salary. Now make we increase training for them. Now make we provide more resources for them. But also then we all get responsibilities. And this, like we talk and say, but people then still today, then they replace each other. Somebody named Abu Kamara, then come with I say no, now today I name Mohamed Kuruma. He say, oh, na be mistake. That not some mistake they made, that mistake they made left.
And I don't verify now.
We still, but here's the thing. We don't do one for the most of the payroll, but it get for happen because teachers then they retire all 10, teachers they count on the payroll. That name changed there, Abu Kamara to Mohamed Kuruma. Do ya a big no counters.
Okay, continue for the return at the program. 8:26 now the time from studio clock. We'll go for this short break and play music for one of we this morning. Otherwise, we'll not get paid we month on. So the one we're responsible for that in bad day today.
Ooh, yeah. Very, very many happy reasons.
Well, this music today now for we head of admin and finance, Anthony Nyaga, in birthday today, and we want for wish him all the best. And we pray say we months done before months done, we pay the good on day together. make you pay we months done. Well, we they come back and continue for enjoy this music.
Very, very